Chaplains 1033 is a local nonprofit organization that provides support, counseling, and mental health training to public safety workers year-round, but finds its service especially vital during the holidays. Dale Simmons is a retired firefighter and a chaplain who started that organization to let first responders know that they are not alone or unknown. Dale, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Tim. Doing well, thank you.
Such a valuable service that you are providing, and you know, I think a lot of us don't think or realize the pressures that first responders are on at the job goes home with them a lot of times.
It does, and you know, as we've talked about the holidays coming up, really for law enforcement, EMS, and fire, there are no holidays because we work when everybody is enjoying themselves, and sometimes for families, it's difficult. When do you have Christmas? We're working when families are at home enjoying themselves, and sometimes it can be really a time of emotional stress, loneliness, depression, and it can become an issue, particularly this time of year. Suicide is up this time of year for first responders, and so being able to making sure that they're okay and they have their needs met is really important to me.
Right. Chaplains 1033 has an interesting background because you have been a chaplain for years and started as a firefighter. Doing it.
I did. Started as a firefighter. I'm now a paramedic. Have done work fire and EMS. I have served as chaplain with law enforcement. So I've had the opportunity to work in all areas and been doing this probably for well over 20 years.
Yeah, and first responders probably recognize 1033 as an emergency radio call.
It is. When we heard that on the radio, that meant emergency traffic, and it was time to shut up and listen.
Right. And so that explains the name, because there are emergency situations that you are responding to essentially through this nonprofit.
I do. Trauma events here in town. We've responded to tragedies where some of our own folks have been involved in tragedies, and to be there for the families, to be there for the personnel who are struggling with losing someone they love, not just the families, but also public safety is a family, and when we lose somebody we love, that affects us as well.
Right. And a lot of times it might not be in an emergency situation, but it is under the surface. And that's where a lot of your other services come in, because you have a podcast, you have a website, you have a lot of ways to reach out to first responders who might be under anxiety that they aren't even aware of on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely. Our body is constantly speaking to us about things that are going on, and we don't listen well. We may deal with people and help them in their bodies as paramedics, but our body speaks to us sometimes and we don't listen.
So how are you reaching out to first responders and veterans? We should mention that you also are working with veterans.
I do with some of the nonprofits I work with, and some of our first responders were former veterans who've come to work in the public safety field, and that's been really exciting. The website's out there. I do a weekly blog called 10-Minute ETA. It takes less than 10 minutes to read. We have done some podcasting. We're going to get back into that this year. We're interviewing fire, police, and EMS personnel about the good, the bad, the ugly of what we do, and hopefully in that they see some things to help with their own mental health.
And the mental health training is in-person counseling?
In person. I don't do the counseling. I have counselors available to me who specialize in counseling for trauma, and so that's out there. We teach mental health through the Chatham County Safety Net Planning Council here in Savannah. The Coastal Georgia Indicators Commission has been part of helping us get trained, which has been just a great thing. So we teach a class called Resilience Enhancement Leadership Model, and also Community Resilience Model. And we talk about how to work through the crisis we deal with every day.
I'm sure there are public safety folks out there seeing this and saying, you know, this might be something I want to check in on. How do they find you?
Chaplains1033.com is my website. You can sign up for the blog there, the former podcaster there. My information is there, email address, email me, let me know how we can help you. It's my heart, it's what I want to be doing for the rest of my life.
Dale, thank you so much for providing the service, for serving the people who serve our community, and making sure that they are safe, not just during the holidays, but year-round.
Thanks for the time,
Really
Tim. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Come back anytime. It's
Thank
a very
you.
important subject. Thank you.